Hello, I am Eon. I'm excited to be showing Tetris the Grandmaster, and I have my good friend Carrie here helping me on commentary.
Hello.
So this is an arcade Tetris game from Japan, released in 1998. It was actually recently re-released in December for both the Switch and PlayStation 4 on the Arcade Archives. So it's now much more widely available than it's ever been before. So with that, I think we're just going to go ahead and get started. So time will start. The game itself will say ready, go. And after the game says go, that's when to start the time. So we'll just go ahead and get started.
Ready, go.
All right, so this is Tetris the Grandmaster, and you're probably very familiar with Tetris. You may be familiar with Tetris the Grandmaster, but you may not be. If all you know is like Game Boy Tetris or NES Tetris that many of us grew up with here in North America, then you will find some things a little bit weird, like the level counter in the bottom left of my well is incrementing with every piece I place and with every line I clear. So a Tetris clears adds 4 levels, a single adds 1 level. We also have a grade in the top left corner there. It's currently at 6, and it started out at 9, and it keeps counting down to 1, and then it will go to S1 and count up to S9, and then after that is the ultimate goal of trying to get that Grandmaster rank or GM. And I'll let Harry go ahead and explain some of those GM requirements.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different conditions as we go along. There's actually really 3 that we got to work with. Eon here is trying to get to level 300, which is requires a score of 12,000. Level 2, that's correct. You also have to do it within certain time constraints. So she has to do it in under 4 minutes and 15 seconds. As she gets further along, as we try to get approach to S4, that requires us to get to level 500, but we have to do it in under 7.5 minutes. And then finally, of course, we're trying to get to a score of 999, a level of 999, and that requires a score of 126,000. But again, you have to do it in under 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Eon here clearly will be able to do it. I'm almost certain of it. I'm actually pretty familiar with this game, not because I played this game, but I played a very similar version, or rather a game that's based on the same rules called Tetris the Cardcaptor Sakura Eternal Heart. And because we're just approaching level 200, it's a little bit of a lull here, so we have an opportunity for a donation if we got any.
Of course. We're getting some love in for that umbrella incentive in Death's Door. We've got a $25 donation that says Umbrella, Ella, 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 A. Thank you for that donation. We also have some love for the event coming in. We have a $50 donation from Vincolos. It says, "This has been a delightful event like always. Thanks to the wonderful staff, host, and everybody working behind the scenes. You are all amazing." Got time for more?
We'll have some more later. We're speeding back up here. We're back at now 1G, where the pieces are falling 1 row per frame. At 200, it reset back to the start, which is why we had a little bit of a lull there. Also, you may have noticed I've been stacking up pretty high because this game does not have an instant drop. But I'm going to start taking on more of a pyramid shape with my stack, which will help survive in the really high speeds that are going to be coming up. So, yeah.
I believe we're approaching the point where the gravity is awkward.
Yes, this is between levels 300 and 500 are what we call awkward G, where the gravity is between 2G, that's falling 2 rows per frame, and 5G, falling 5 rows per frame. And it goes up and then back down at some points, and it's not very clear exactly what your current gravity is unless you really know what's going on. And so that's why we call it awkward, because you don't always know whether you can skip a gap or not. And so what piece placements are actually available to you is a little bit hard to know. So it just generally feels pretty awkward to play.
Yeah, and then once we get to level 500, it becomes instant gravity, and believe it or not, it's significantly easier to play when the pieces are just slamming right down on you.
Yeah, you know exactly what is and is not possible. 20G is a bit of a milestone hurdle to learn when you're first learning the game, but once you do get used to it, it's actually quite a bit easier to play than the awkward G.
I guess it might be worth explaining some of the movements that you can do in TGM that you wouldn't be able to do in, say, NES
Yes.
Tetris. I believe there's a couple movements you can do.
Yeah, so one thing that you may notice is these pieces are not locking down immediately when they touch the stack the way that you're probably used to if you grew up playing NES Tetris. So this game actually gives you 30 frames or about half a second to maneuver the piece before it locks down. And so that's why we can even play at 20G in this game, because NES Tetris maxes out at 1G, and we're now at that 20G maximum speed right now. So
I should add that since we've hit level 500, you're only at 5 minutes and 30 seconds, and you're well above required to actually get that S4 ranking.
Yes.
Actually, you're at S6, excuse me.
yeah, I think I had S5 before the level 500, which is pretty common. The grading requirements in this game, I think when they were making it, they didn't exactly know how good people were going to get. And so the requirements ended up being relatively lenient, especially in comparison to subsequent games in this series. It's a game where the general feeling is that anyone who wants to is perfectly capable of getting a Grandmaster rank. And usually the time frame that we say is within like a year or two. It's achievable for most people. I got my first Grandmaster game in about 5.5 months. So.
And you can get the game now. Like, you don't even need a specialized hardware. You can get it on Switch and I think on PlayStation.
Yes, yeah, it's available for both Switch and PlayStation. So as part of that Arcade Archives release, and so it's been really cool to see some new players picking up the game since that release happened. It's been really cool, and it's easier than ever to get into this series.
Real quick, I would like to jump in with an update on that Death's Door incentive. We have met it at $1,525 out of the $1,500 raised, and we do have a new incentive opening up. It looks like it is a Super Metroid Watch the Opening cutscene incentive. We need to raise $5,000 for that.
Awesome.
That's excellent.
So, yeah, I guess one other thing to call out, if you are interested in picking up this game or learning it, there is a real handy TGM guide available at tgm.tips, and that has lots of very good information to help with learning this game. So, and I think we could probably take another donation or two here.
Of course. We have a $100 donation from Shoujo. Shoujo says, Tetris is amazing and so is everyone here. Thanks for the amazing event. Thank you, Shoujo.
Thank you, Shoujo.
We also have a $25 donation from Leaf. It says, love y'all. And that especially includes the people behind the curtains, as well as Malala Fun.
One of the other things about this game is that, like I mentioned, the rules that are in TGM, actually you're getting pretty close to TGM, apply to not only TGM, but I believe 2 and 3, as well as the Card Captor Sakura game I mentioned earlier.
So the one thing that I also should mention about some of these rotations, I don't know if I've done any really neat ones this run, but this game does have what we call wall kicks, where if you try to rotate a piece and it can't do that without intersecting either the stack or the wall, it will attempt to shift one space to the right and see if it can complete the rotation. And if that doesn't work, it will try to shift one space to the left and see if it can complete the rotation. And so that does allow for some really neat rotations that are definitely not possible in, say, NES Tetris.
Do you know, bringing that up, you reminded me, it might be worth explaining how the pieces are chosen because it is actually very interesting.
Yeah, so this is not a pure random game, but it's also not like modern Tetris is played with what we call a bag randomizer, where they effectively put all 7 pieces in a bag and draw them out one at a time. And then once all 7 pieces have been drawn, they put them back and attempt to redraw. What this does is it uses a memory system, so it will remember the 4 most recent pieces that have been given, and then it will attempt to re-roll if it draws a piece that you've already been given within that 4-piece history. And it will draw up to 4 times before it does just go ahead and give you that piece. So that selects against getting repeat pieces and tries to also prevent getting droughts that are too long, but they can still happen, and it gives you interesting piece sequences. Here we go, that's time. Sorry, I wasn't paying close enough attention, but that was time there.
Wow.
So we did it. We hit 999 in just over 10 minutes and 38 seconds. So that's almost 3 minutes faster than the maximum time that you can do to get a Grandmaster rank. And
Yeah, that's right. So it was 13:30 on that. That's right.
and so now we're in the credit roll. In this game, the credit roll is basically just a victory lap. So you can do whatever you want during this, but it is kind of fun to just play it out. It's not like in the subsequent games where you actually have to perform well during the credit roll in order to actually achieve that Grandmaster rank. So, yes. Just want to give a quick shout out to the TGM community, especially our online leaderboards, the Absolute.plus. That's where we keep track of all of our leaderboards, and it's a great place. There's a Discord that you can get linked to from there where everyone is super helpful. Thanks everyone for watching and for all the support, and to everyone doing all the hard work behind the scenes to put this on. Carrie, do you have any?
Just thanks for having me on, and thanks everybody at Flame Fatales. This has been an excellent marathon.
Thanks, and gonna hand it back.
Thank you so much for that wonderful run of Tetris the Grandmaster, Eon. We have a few donations coming in. For example, we have a $25 donation from Slamscape that says less than 3. We'll be right back after this break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back from the break. I know everybody's so excited for Death's Door, but real quick, I'd like to read a few donations. We've got some love coming in for the Tetris run, of course. That was so fast, I didn't get very long to read. So we have a $25 donation from Ebert. It says, the Tetris run is sick. This week has been an absolute blast. And as always, trans rights are humans' rights. We've got a $150 donation from a Clopchamp. It says, huge thanks to all the runners for showing off their speediness for the cause. And what a cause it is. It's such a privilege to get to support such an important mission. Shout out to Poggy Runner Thistle and much love from Thistlecord. I would also like to mention that Death's Door, which is our next run, has a language choice bid war going on, and if somebody wants to snipe that, you can. Right now, German is in the lead at $50, French is slightly behind at $30, and Japanese is at $25. And we also have a Super Metroid Watch opening cutscene incentive open. If you put your money towards that when you donate, you can type !donate in the chat to donate. We can watch the opening of Super Metroid later on in the marathon, so go ahead and get donating. We do have a word from our charity, so without further ado, let's watch the video.
Hello to the Frame Fatales community. Thank you so much for supporting the work of Malala Fund, and I have received a few questions from your community and Games Done Quick, so I'm here to answer those questions. Do you have any experience with video games? I used to play GTA Vice City with my brothers when we were kids, and in this COVID time I was playing Among Us and a few other games just to entertain myself, and I love watching my brothers and my husband play FIFA football. How did you feel knowing that a gaming organization wanted to support Malala Fund? I was just so excited and thrilled. Thank you so much for thinking of our work. We know that 130 million girls around the world do not have access to education, and this needs our attention. How will the donations make a difference? The support that you provide us will help us invest that into local organizations in 9 different countries where girls' number out of school is the highest. We work in Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Brazil, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Turkey, and many other places. And our goal is to ensure that girls have access to quality, safe education. Along with that, we also have a platform for girls called Assembly, which is a digital newsletter for girls, by girls, where girls from around the world are sharing their stories of activism. They are not only talking about the problems that they face, but how they themselves are becoming the leaders and change makers in addressing those problems. So do subscribe to Assembly, do follow that. And our hope through Malala Fund is to create a world where all girls can learn and lead. Any words of inspiration for the women watching this event? You have to begin by believing in yourself. For any change that you want to see, you have to believe in your power to be able to bring that change. Your voice, your thinking, your activism can make a huge difference. So take a bold step and bring the change that you want to see. And this is a message for women and everybody else. You can play a significant role in making this world a better place for all. Everybody watching this, thank you so much for your generosity, your support, and I hope we stay in touch. Thank you.
I am here. Hello, everybody. Welcome back from that word from our charity. I hope everybody is excited for Death's Door, but real quick, let me read a few donations. We got a $50 donation from Sleeping Puppy. They say, hello from the meme team. It's such an honor to be a part of the hype crew for this wonderful community and incredible cause. Thanks to every single one of the Frame Fatales for lifting up women in game and running this event to support girls' education. Let's close this out with a PB and donations for Malala Fund. Speaking of PB and donations, we have a milestone incentive that is $137,174. If we meet that, we get a bonus game, Inscription. So everybody keep donating. We also have a $200 donation with love for Tetris. It says, my wife and I have been playing each in Tetris since our second date, and we still play 10 years later. Thanks to everyone for putting on a great event for a great cause. And I do believe our runner is ready, so whenever you are ready, take it away. This'll do.